Join the crew of Kalypso this episode as we make a short 16-mile passage from Fuengirola to the historic city of Malaga to pick up a long-absent crew member. We are leaving Fuengirola today for Malaga. We've had a good couple days. Had Dom here and spent some time, just swimming around the boat and relaxing. We got fuel this morning, and thank goodness we were able to fill up the water tanks because we were getting a little bit low. We're going to pick up Karen now, so we'll want nice full tanks when all three of us are on board. The winds are supposed to be like F2, force 2 from the sea onto the shore today, so we'll probably do a beam reach. Doesn't feel like very much right now. It's very hot, and I'm not feeling a bit too hot, so Charlotte's brought me some absolutely gorgeous iced tea. We've had a really good time with Rhonda the Honda here. Rhonda's been very reliable for us. She's a 4-stroke, 2.3 horsepower air-cooled Honda engine. We got her specifically because she weighs 13.9 kilos, which means it's easy for any of us to hand down into the tender, which we call Sir Gregory of Chichester. And so Sir Gregory is quite happy to have Rhonda hanging on to his stern, but we'll stop there with the metaphors, the saucy metaphors. All right, so just need to pick up the lines and stuff. Charlotte's leaving that for me because I skimped on my duty and took over the helm for a little bit. And that's about it for right now. We'll give you a check-in later. Malaga is now a thriving tourist destination here in the Costa del Sol. However, just as we've seen traveling through this area over the past several episodes, it has a really rich history. Similar to Cadiz and Gibraltar, the Phoenicians first colonized the area in around 1000 BCE and named it Malacca, probably for the Phoenician word malik, which means to salt. The Phoenicians settled along the river just south of our current anchorage, and as the name Malik suggests, it became a fish salting center, probably because of the nearby salt marshes providing the ready-made salt. What we're doing is putting down our patent line holder. It's not really patent and it's not really a line holder. It's basically for keeping the mooring warp from rubbing against the rubbing strake on the rubbing strake or the fair leads here. That's the rubbing strake, that's the fair lead. So we're trying to keep that big mooring warp there from rubbing across that of the boat. So we put this down, basically run it across this fender. This is an old nose fender from Shamu, but it's really good for this. Okay, then we hook this guy in. This goes across the chain. That chain fits in there. And then I just lower the chain just a little bit more. And this mooring line takes up the slack and keeps the windlass from taking all the force. Okay, and there we go. So then I'll let it out just until the chain is basically, you can see the chain's just hanging free. And this mooring line now is taking all the weight. There we go. And it's hanging across our nice fender there. Well, we went from Fuengirola today up here to Malaga. The wind was essentially very light and right on our nose, which was contrary to the predictions. The predictions said we'd have a light onshore, but that never materialized. We had to do these long tacks, so it's taken us hours to get up here. It must have taken us 6 hours to get up here. It should have taken maybe 2.5 if we'd gone straight line. But it's okay. It was beautiful. The seas were beautiful. We're listening to an audiobook. And it was a good day. We had a nice lunch that we're not going to mention on camera because Karen might hear and have a go at us for our unhealthy eating habits. We're in this, I don't know, it must be an industrial anchorage that they're hoping to expand into here at Malaga. But right now it's being used for, by yachts, transient yachts. So it's quite a nice protected anchorage. We have to put up with a little bit of noise during the day, but I'm sure it'll quiet down tonight. And all in all, any place with palm trees around it can't be that bad. The biggest issue we seem to be having this trip is almost no wind, which makes it difficult to sail, of course, and it also makes it extremely hot in the midday sun. Thank goodness Kalypso's white. This is our meal plan. Actually, this is important to say. What we try to do is not only write out but we write out a list of food we want, but we start with a meal plan. So what are we going to eat for each day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and maybe some snacks in between, and that helps us make sure we've got, okay, if we want to have chicken in 2 days, and we need to make sure we have chicken in. So what we've done is gone through and meal planned, and we had done this partially in our heads anyhow before we went shopping, but this helps us just to make sure we don't forget something. We're off to pick up our third crew member, Karen. She's just landed at the airport, so going to take the tender across and wait at the I don't know, breakwater here. Charlotte's going to wait for us, and then I'll run out, get Karen, we'll come back, jump in the tender, and come back to Kalypso. So hopefully we can have some tea ready for Karen when she gets here.
I think you mean G&T.
G&T, yeah. Maybe that's the one. It's pretty cool. We're in a park here down next to the main port, which looks a bit like Gunwharf Quay in Portsmouth, something like that. But really beautiful park. And in the shade, it's quite nice, pleasant. What stop in any kind of Spanish city is complete without a nice cold beer? What a nice day we had. We had a couple of jars of beer. Cerveza Jara, apparently. Dos Cerveza Jara. I only had one.
Hello.
Hey, oh.
All I can see, Dad, is your pasty white legs.
Look at my nice brown feet now.
Is that dirt I see?
It's a knife wound. I just had a bar fight. It was a really bad bar fight.
I think it was more realistic that Dad was chasing a mosquito and headbutted the door.
I hate mosquitoes a lot, though. I had a knife fight with him. I won. He died. Actually, no, I think he got away. You better turn that off.
I just want to point out this is the culprit. That made a nice dent in Dad's head. I'm sorting out the many first aid kits we have on board because we have far too many and none of them are organised, and some of them are quite vintage, you might say.
Okay, tell us which ones are which.
So we've got an eye first aid kit. So it's got eye dressings, bandages, gloves and alcohol wipes. We've got all the tablets, the seasickness, the ibuprofen, the paracetamol, just about anything I think we could possibly ever need. We've got a general first aid kit over here, so it's going to have like a thermometer, plasters, just additional stuff that we don't need in the emergency first aid kits. And then we're going to have an emergency first aid kit on deck, which has most of the things we probably will need for any kind of big emergency that we can handle on board.
Like traumas and things like that, or
Yeah, like a trauma that we could deal with.
so fingers being trapped and things like. No, seriously.
Oh, I thought you meant fingers being cut off. I was like, we could try and deal with that.
No.
Fingers being trapped, yes. I mean, we can try and deal with that again.
Appendicitis, pregnancy, birth.
Appendicitis?
Nice.
Yeah. Sprains, general cuts and bruises, those sort of things we can deal with.
Okay.
I know how to do a tourniquet, that doesn't mean I should do one.
So you did an RYA course, didn't you?
Yes, it was a first aid at sea course.
And was it useful, do you think?
Yeah, really useful, although it scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
So I feel vastly underprepared, even though I might be more prepared than Dad.
Yes, I've recently acquired this nasty cut on my forehead from a knife fight.
Mosquito fight.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was chasing a mosquito.
Into a knife?
Wait,
Okay.
Charlotte, what have you found there?
Wait, there's more. It's like a weird unveiling video where we don't actually know what's in this first aid kit.
We'd like to be clear. My father-in-law, Charlotte's grandfather, is a first aider, so he does emergency first aid. So he put together a bunch of kits for us on Kalypso. Sorry, on Shamu. Oh
This
yeah,
is the
major trauma kit.
It's a little dated in some areas.
Yeah,
We've got some useful stuff in there, I think.
the best bandages you can get in 1980.
They're still sealed though, so
Yep.
that'll do. Cotton wool wrapped in paper. Not sure how sterile that would be.
No.
Yeah. What is that?
Emergency suture kit.
Should I open it or should I not open it?
Well, there's no point in having it if we don't know what's in it. I bet it's a suture kit.
Smelling salts? It's from Boots. Tincture of iodine, I think.
Oh, iodine. Oh my lord. When's the last time we had iodine?
We are leaving the anchorage here at Malaga, and we're going to sail. It's a long sail. It's about 1 nautical mile up the coast to Malaga Harbor, to the new port. And we're going to stay in the marina overnight just to use fresh water, be closer to the town center, maybe get some electricity, although we don't hurt for electricity, but fresh water is going to be the big thing for us. Full of fuel, probably get a little bit of provisions, and that's about it. So it's going to be a tough sail. If you look out there, it's about 3-inch swell. This is a little anchorage near the industrial port of Malaga. It's really nice. It's completely enclosed. Big breakwaters and all that. Very, very calm in here. You get a little bit of swell coming in from the sea, but beyond that, as long as the wind is from that direction, which is southeast, and the swell's there, you're okay. Otherwise, you're rocking just a little bit, but it's nothing bad. We did try to use the sailing club and the rowing club to drop our dinghy off, and that didn't work out as well as everybody seemed to say on Navili or Noonsite. So I would say you can't guarantee that you can use those. And it's a bit noisy, but it is 10 o'clock, even though it's a Sunday. So the one downside of this anchorage would be that there were some children that swam out to the boat and asked to jump off the boat. We told them no. We didn't want to start something and have every kid on the whole beach coming out here. They came out the next day and asked again, and we told them no. And then they came out, well, Charlotte and I were off the boat. Karen, luckily, was still on the boat, and they started swearing at her and swimming around the boat, which is pretty intimidating. So that's a bit disturbing. I would say probably anchor further from that breakwater near the beach. That's probably the best bet. No idea what's going on over there, but it seems like everybody's evacuating the harbor right now. Very strange. It's obviously the time to set off or something. Maybe they get kicked out. Maybe that's kicking out time.
Dad's a nervous helmsman.
Scanning for enemies. Enemy frigate on the horizon! Run out the cannons!
I think we might be okay.
No.
You having fun, Mom?
Yeah.
She's working on her tan, but only from the knee down.
Right, just checking the water here. This gauge, or this tank, has a gauge in it. It shows that we're about half full. There's empty, full. We're at about half a tank, so that's about 60 liters of water there. We've got 120 forward, and we've got an extra 20 liters spare, plus some odd drinking water. So we're just making sure we've got enough water for the next couple days, because we can't seem to find a marina. That's fine, but water's the only real problem for us. Good.
Sunfish seem to be fairly prevalent around here, as we've passed a number of them. They're definitely ungainly when they're sunning themselves on the surface. We were amazed at the birds sitting there pecking at them with impunity, probably some kind of symbiotic relationship where the birds helped keep the parasites off the fish, but it was still weird. Adult sunfish typically weigh between 250 and 1,000 kilograms. That's about 500 to 2,200 pounds. They're native to tropical and temperate waters and seem to really enjoy this area of the Med.
You need to get in Pinky.
No, I am not getting it, Pinky!
Mum wants you to prove its proof of concept. Can it hold the weight of a human being?
Without completely sinking.
I think Pinky will be fully submerged and you'll be slightly above water. It's a strong look, Dad.
It was time to set off for Granada to pick up my son Sean, who is going to round out our crew for the next week. But that's a story for next episode. I have no idea what Charlotte wants me to say right now, but she's filming me, so